Welcome to Real Talk. We're your hosts,
I'm Rob.
and I'm Sarah. Please join us as we discuss the swinging lifestyle.
Hey guys, we are back. We have to apologize. We had to take a week off from our weekly podcast show. We've been doing some construction here at the Our Place Studios. So we did miss last week. And construction definitely got in the way of that. There was so much noise, bunch of stuff going on, so we would not have been able to do it. But we are back tonight, and we are going to be talking about single males. We're going to be talking about single males at clubs, single males and etiquette, and how to conduct yourself, and how to be successful with meeting couples and other females at these places. Sarah is with me today.
As every week.
How are you doing?
Good.
I must say, I'm liking the new outfit.
Making the movies.
So on our last podcast, we introduced and interviewed Heather and Junior. We got a lot of good feedback from that, so we will be having them back on a future show.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, so let's dive right in. I know I'm having a little problem with some audio right now. I can hear it. We're working to get some things fixed with that. So I apologize if it cuts in and out here a little bit. It'll correct itself here in a second. But, so on the other podcasts that we've talked about, I've said, I don't really take single males in the lifestyle so serious or too serious, just because a lot of them don't fill out their profiles, things like that. However, I want them to be able to go to places and be successful with meeting people and making connections and, generally connecting with couples and other single females, things like that.
Well, and I think a lot of them join the lifestyle for the wrong reason. They're joining thinking it's a chance to constantly get laid, and that's not the reason to join. The reason to join the lifestyle is because you want to seriously be in it for other couples' pleasure and the females that you meet, their pleasure. I think that they think it's just a free chance to have sex, and if you're joining for that reason, it's a totally wrong reason to join.
Yeah. I have to keep reminding Sarah, she's new with the microphone. She keeps thinking she has to lean into the microphone, but
Sorry.
You really don't. It's going to pick you up right where it's at. So, anyway, yeah, Sarah's right. Guys, in the lifestyle, it's not, and it's like Heather and Junior both said, it's not about your experience. And you want to have experiences too, but a lot of this, especially when you're dealing with couples, it's about their experiences and things like that. So, coming from my point of view anyway, so we want to jump in and tell you guys how you can be successful meeting couples, going to clubs, etiquette and things like that.
I think that the first key thing for single guys is communication. When you approach people, don't give off that creepy vibe. Don't give off the vibe that you're just there to sleep with them. Really talk to them, communicate with them, get to know them. I find that they'll respond better to you if you're not trying to put that, hey, let's have sex kind of thing out there. So, really talk to the couples. Carry on a decent, normal conversation.
Yeah, and I'd say along her lines there, don't be overly aggressive. Don't walk in cocky. Don't be over arrogant. You come into these places with the the thought that, if something happens, great. If it doesn't, you still had a great time that night. You made a connection, and you never know. There's couples that are watching you, and they're gonna watch how you act, and they may say, okay, nothing's gonna happen tonight,
That's
but
true.
the next
Yeah.
time that we see him, we would be okay to approach him and talk to him. But if they see a guy just going from couple to couple to couple to couple, or girl,
Oh yeah.
you know, it's going to turn some of them off. And I don't mean if you're just having a casual conversation, introducing yourself to meet people, but couples can see if you're going around just hitting on everything there.
I call them sharks. They
Yeah.
circle the waters and then they move on in. And
Yeah.
that, if, like he said, couples are watching you. If they see that, then they find you not as attractive. They don't want to get with somebody that they call a player. They want to get with somebody that's genuinely interested in getting to know them and actually being with them.
Right. Um, so, I guess talking about single males, there's a lot of stigmatism in the lifestyle. A lot of the guys are married, playing without permission, and then you do have, your single guys. Guys, don't cheat on your wives. Don't get into this just so you think you can go out and get a quick fuck. You know, that's going to get around. It's going to get figured out eventually. Couples don't like that.
Honesty, yeah.
Yeah, have enough respect for your partner that you're not out cheating on them.
Well, and I have met couples that don't care if you're married, but if you are, at least be honest with that couple that you're
Right.
married. Um, Trying to pretend you're single when you're not, breaking dates with this couple, that also gets around. If you prove that you're unreliable, then nobody will play with you. But if you are married, just be honest and upfront. Like I said, some couples don't care. I myself probably would rather you be single, but if you are married, just be honest about it.
Right. Uh, so going to clubs or meeting people in any setting, dress to impress, guys. Wear some dress pants, some button-up shirt. Have some pride in your appearance. You really want to go in looking sharp. And another thing, don't go in and just start slamming beers and alcohol, getting sloppy drunk. By the end of the night, if you do end up hooking up with somebody, you're so drunk you can't perform. You're already nervous. You may not be able to get an erection. All those things
And
play
their
a part.
experience is going to suck too. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not going to, like I said, when you get in the lifestyle, you're in it for your enjoyment too, but also the couples. And I'll be honest with you, single gentlemen, you are a dime a dozen. So you want to set yourself out from the rest of the pack, because there's probably 10 other guys that are going to take your spot, probably even more than that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's just tons and tons of single guys that are always trying to get into the clubs, and they don't always make the cut, because there's a waiting list to get into these places. And if you go in and you don't make a good impression, you're not going to get invited back.
And it's not just about clubs either. I mean, it's also about meeting these people one-on-one. I myself like single guys, but I have found that the ones that come in that are super aggressive, don't even want to talk to me, they start grabbing me right away. I'm like, no, I'm not going to play with you. I would rather somebody talk to me, sit down and actually have a conversation before they say anything about getting together. Because I kind of like the flirting, not romance, but the flirting, the touching, the caressing and stuff like that. Not, hey, baby, you want to go in a bedroom. To me, that's not sexy. I want them to have to work for it a little bit. And honestly, you guys are going to have to work for it because, like I said, you're a dime a dozen. So you want to set yourself apart from the rest of the guys that are out there.
Yeah. So we covered how you should dress. You want to make yourself stand out from everybody else. Don't go in being cocky. Don't act like you have an ego and you're the best thing that is out there for anybody. Just be yourself. But here's another thing, guys. I understand that guys are shy sometimes. But if you go to somewhere, and especially if you go to, like our place, if you go there and you're shy and you just sit in a corner,
don't hang on your phone. Don't, spend all night being on your phone, sitting in the corner. Because, then you either give off the creepy vibe or the disinterested vibe. So
right. Well, not only that, but you're not going to meet people that way.
No.
You have to be. The host can only do so much. They can take you around and introduce you to people, but you have to be able to carry a conversation. You have to be able to set that tone and have something to talk about. If you just go sit at a table and you just sit there, that couple's not going to be interested in you. That female's not going to be interested in you. You have to have something to talk about, and it doesn't have to be anything huge. You could start out with, you guys come here often.
Conversation,
basic
stuff like that.
Yeah, basic conversation.
Yeah.
Just don't come in and sit at a table. Now, again, striking up a conversation with people. Some couples like you to come up and introduce yourself. Others will wait and come up to you. So you're kind of stuck in one of those things, but you can kind of read body language, I think. It's a little difficult, but
sometimes. But you know what? The key thing is go up to the table. If they're not interested in you, fine. But at least they respect you for coming up.
Yeah.
They respect you for the fact that you at least made an attempt. Maybe that's not their thing, but then the next time they see you, they're not going to go, oh my God, that was that creepy guy that we seen last week. So you want to talk to them and kind of be the nice guy, be the unassuming guy. If you come in with the over-aggressive attitude, you're not getting anywhere in this lifestyle. You're really not.
Right. And, another creepy factor, guys, I'm telling you from experience, don't follow couples around in the locations that they're at. If you come in and you're like, man, this lady is just beautiful, she's hot, and, you're fixated, don't follow them from room to room to room or any of the areas there, That's going to put off a creepy factor as well. Like I said, conversation is going to get you where you need to be. They may not be interested in a single guy, but, at least you go up and introduce yourself.
They'll at least respect you later.
And they may say, hey, yeah, we're looking for a single guy, or no, we're not interested, but at least that way. But please don't follow people, especially couples, or even single females. Don't follow them from room to room, because it's going to creep them out. And, then they're going to come up and they're going to complain that, hey, I got this guy, he's following me. Yeah.
And also know your boundaries. If you are invited down to an area that's open play and you're allowed to watch, also know that keep a safe distance. If they want you to watch, or they'll let you know if they want you to participate, but if they want you to watch, keep a safe distance. Don't get right up on them.
We call them hoverers.
Yes. Everybody has their personal space and what they're comfortable with. The best thing is to watch from a distance instead of getting right up on them. Unless they've asked you, then, your best bet is just to kind of put a little distance between yourself and them. Still watch them. It's fun, but, just don't get right up on them.
Right, and always remember that there are rules in place. You don't ever touch somebody without asking permission
That's
first.
the key, yes. Especially with single guys. Like I said, in most clubs, they can boot you out in a second for a lack of following the rules.
Yeah.
Never, ever, and I have to repeat this, touch anybody. I don't care if you've seen them at the club 100 times or you've been out with this couple, 2 or 3 times. Don't ever assume that it's okay to touch a female without permission.
Right.
I've had guys that go, well, I know them. Well, knowing them and I mean seeing them at the same place time and time again does not mean you know them.
Right.
Unless they give you express permission, then don't touch them.
And even then, say you're there and you play with them a little bit. The next time you come back and you see that couple, you still want to ask again. Hey,
That's
is it
true.
okay if I
Yep.
touch you? Don't just assume because you played
You
with
play with
somebody
them
one
before,
time
yep.
that it's okay that you just go up and start grabbing somebody, because you know, just because they played with you once doesn't mean that's going to happen again.
That's true.
So.
Yep. Also, don't treat if you do go to a club, don't treat it like it's an adult bookstore.
Yes.
This isn't a place to
Don't pull it out on the couch and start rubbing one out while people are walking by.
or
I'm just
behind
gonna,
a couple.
yeah, I'm just gonna call it like it is because we've had some people come and they'll just go from room to room to room and thinking it's an adult bookstore, and they'll pull Mr. Winky out and they just start slapping it around on the couch, while they're watching adult videos. Our place is not about that. It's a
And
very
no places, none of the clubs are really
Right.
about that.
So don't assume that bookstores are the
Same
place
as
to.
clubs.
Yeah, you don't want to be slapping it around. That needs to be done in private. Yeah, maybe you're into people watching you slap it, but go in a play area if you're going to do that. And there again, people are probably going to go, you got a guy down there wanking off. So, just be mindful of things like that. I don't care. I'm going to say it how it is. But yeah, just be mindful of things like that.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Also, as a single guy, if you're talking to a couple, the first, or if you actually do get to hook up with a couple, you need to really find out what their boundaries are, what they're okay with, and a lot of times they're really iffy with the single guy. The husband may or may not want you to have sex with his wife, or he may or may not just want you to play with him, or not him, but her or him. I mean, I don't know whatever their preference is, but always find out what their rules are because they'll respect you more if they find out that you're actually genuinely interested in not crossing a boundary that they might have.
Yeah. And, married guys, single guys that come, I know you like
I
I know you like the guys.
I do.
You know, you even like when couples come in. I know you like the married guys that are with the couples. Sometimes you're just not interested in the whole couple thing with the wife, and it's kind of a hard crossover boundary for you to be able to talk to them and say, hey, I wouldn't mind doing something with your husband.
Well, and I think that's why I do more of the single guys because I don't have that issue where the wife might get upset.
Well, there's a hint for you married guys out there that come here. She does play, so, she's definitely interested, and just got to come up and strike up a conversation because, believe it or not, I know Sarah is kind of shy when it comes to talking to people. She acts like she's not, but she is. So you're shy. There's a lot of times you are. I mean, you'll talk about things, but getting to that, hey, I wouldn't mind hooking up with you type of thing, you're a little shy with that. But anyway.
That's off topic.
Yeah. Well, I had to put it in there. I don't care. So anyway, single guys, we've talked about how you can be successful. Dress to impress. Keep your drinking under control.
Keep your distance.
Be friendly, polite, and outgoing. Know how to carry a conversation, and be yourself. Don't be an ass. Just be a person that, if you're shy, you're shy, but, you have to make that opportunity present itself by talking. You're never going to meet anybody by sitting there watching the party go on and you're not joining it.
No. Um, and honestly, guys, it's all about how you carry yourself. If you have the creepy vibes going on, then nobody's gonna talk to you. And like I said, by the creepy vibe, I mean the guy that sits in the corner, just stares at people. That's the other one.
Yeah.
Stares at people, follows couples, or touches inappropriately. I mean, we are uh, we are club owners, so we do own our place. And I will have to say, we've seen a lot of mistakes from single gentlemen that have overstepped their bounds, been too aggressive, and honestly, guys, that'll get you kicked out of a club, or even if you're meeting them private, that's going to turn them off completely. So if you want to continue to go back to the places or continue to meet with a couple that you might be interested in, the key is to be unassuming. I think that's really it, don't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything else we can expand on with them? Like I said, I know we
Well,
have.
okay, as a club owner, you do have to understand if you want to attend an event, you do need to let people, well, at least with our club, you have to let people know that you're coming, because honestly,
Which people?
you have to let the people that deal with the reservations and stuff like
Yeah.
that reserve a spot, because honestly, most clubs will put a restriction on how many single guys
Right.
they have coming.
Most of them limit
They
because
do.
they only want.
So many.
Yeah, and there's some that only allow 3 in, some allow 10 in. It just depends on the size of the place and how many couples are there. I mean, obviously you don't want 50 single guys and
Yeah.
10 couples there.
You're
It's
talking
just
one
not gonna,
big dick fest.
yeah, it's not going to balance out right.
No.
So, just be patient. Send your email in to say I'm interested. I'd like to come, uh, and meet people.
Also,
And
when you RSVP for a club, and it's always maybe nice to send a photo of your face to whoever you're RSVPing to, because for us, we'll get pictures of guys that'll send their dick. Well, I cannot,
Mr. Winky.
unless your pants are down, I cannot place you by your dick. I need a face pic in order to, gauge.
Yeah, we don't have the check-in area where we go, okay, whip it out. I got to match this to that.
Let me check and make sure the picture matches.
But yeah, they all have different screening requirements on how to get in. So when you contact them, just say I'm interested, and they'll respond back with what you need to be able to get on to an event.
And I think the way you word your email to whoever's taking the RSVPs for the club also is a key factor in whether you're going to get it or not. Say, put your stats out there. Hey, I'm a single guy. I'm, looking to have an experience. Make sure that it sounds professional and polite, because honestly, if you sound dirty and gross or dirty and obscene, they're not going to let you in.
Right. That brings up another thing. When you get your tours or you see a staff member, don't just automatically think that you can hit on them or grab them or grope them because they work here. That'll get you booted out quicker than anything as well. You need to show respect to any staff, any volunteer, any staff or volunteers. They're there because they like the place, but that doesn't give you the right to go ahead and grope on them or anything like that. You need to be respectful to everybody.
That also doesn't mean they're going to hook up with you. I myself, as owning the club, they seem to think that, well, she owns a sex club, so that she's automatically on the charts.
Well,
automatically.
They're not. It's not a sex club. That's the first
No.
thing you need to.
I mean, they come to a lifestyle club and they think it's a sex club and that everybody is going to do you. It's like, nah, that's not the case. Also, when you're getting a tour, same rules applies when you're downstairs with a couple. You want to make sure that you keep your distance from whoever's giving you the tour, because I've had tours that I've done where they're like smack dab on you. Just,
Well,
you
that's
know.
just because you're sexy, you know, when we get close. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, she's right though.
Keep
You
your
know,
distance. I mean,
you don't have to be right up on somebody.
no. You can always talk to them later and,
Yeah.
get them at a table later, but we're
And
all
we
just
understand.
giving you the tours.
And we understand that you guys are coming in nervous as it is.
Right.
Just, you know, just relax, take a deep breath, and don't overconsume alcohol. Just,
Don't be drunk when you come
yeah, that's
in
another good idea.
initially. He's right, control your alcohol intake when you get here, but also don't be drunk when you first arrive.
Right.
That's a total turnoff. I've done tours where they're so inebriated they can't even walk, up and down.
Yep, then you have
The
to turn around and
stairs,
say,
yeah.
okay, you have to leave now.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out, but you're done for the night.
Done for the, and that's an automatic boot too. Yeah.
So, yeah, and I'm trying to think. Do you have, can you think of any other things that you,
Have seen?
well, not that you've seen, just tips in general on how to meet couples, how to approach them. I mean, obviously.
Honestly, we have a single gentleman, and he's a friend of ours, and he's super sweet. But the reason that he's well accepted in this kind of atmosphere is he never comes in with expectations. He's always super happy-go-lucky. And so when people see him here, they'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" So they don't view him as a threat or a weirdo. He's really sweet and really nice, and I think every one of you guys really kind of needs to take that tip. Completely be unassuming, be polite. Come in with an attitude like, "Hey, I'm not here to get laid," because honestly, like we've told you before, you come in with that attitude and you're getting nowhere.
Sorry, I started laughing. You said something about take that tip, and my mind kind of went somewhere else.
Dirty little.
I know. I don't know what it is tonight. I don't know if it's all the construction. I've been cooped up or what, but
It's our first podcast,
yeah.
so he's probably a little bit more playful than normal.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you have to be. You have to have fun doing these, or what's the point of doing it?
It's true.
Well,
and again, getting back to the fun part, with you single gentlemen, just look at it as a bar with a possibility of having sex. And that's the same with a regular bar. Think of it the same way. Your chances of scoring are probably, I'll be honest, maybe 30%, 40%. We have couples that love single males, and then we have some that find them creepy.
yeah.
But again, like I said, you're a dime a dozen, so you really need to step up your game and impress these people.
Yeah. And
And if they're not into you, that's fine, or they're not into single male, but at least make it to where they're comfortable to be around you.
I want to talk too.
Go
I'm just
talk.
kidding. I'm kidding.
I have a tendency to take over.
Yeah, you do that. Then
Yeah.
you're like on the next. You never
You
say
never
nothing,
talk,
so
I
you
know.
wonder why. No, I love you,
I
but
love you too.
yeah, just lose the creep factor.
Yeah.
You know, just be an outgoing gentleman. Just
Yeah.
remember, you can be a gentleman. You can be successful. You can meet couples. You can meet single females. You can meet married women here that are looking for you. And yes, there are all of those here looking for you.
Not just, I mean, in any
Well,
club.
well, yeah,
any
but
club.
I'm saying here is in, we're doing the
Club
podcast
setting,
for
yeah.
us, so we're talking at a club setting, but anywhere there are those there, and the opportunity is there for you to make a connection and have some fun. I mean, that's the whole point of going to a lifestyle place, is to meet people and have a good time.
And,
So.
I think we should share one of our horror stories of the single male that we met. You remember the one we met at the bar? The one that got really drunk and and accused us of the.
Oh yeah, he's the one that
yeah.
dropped his wallet. Then we
We-
turned it back to the bar. That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we give it back to the bartender. He's like, what?
Well,
what was it?"
we met a single gentleman at a bar, and it was the first time we'd ever met him. And he was pretty inebriated when we actually got to the bar and he actually met us. So we sat and had a few more drinks with him, and he and I went out to our vehicle and started messing around. Well,
It was a regular bar.
it was a regular bar, and he lost his wallet in my vehicle. And so we went ahead and turned it into the bar, figured that he'd come back for it because he left shortly after we got done playing, and
Probably had to get home to the wife.
I guess so. He leaves his wallet, and we turn into the bar. He goes up to the bar and tells them that we tried to steal from him.
Yeah. Luckily, the bartender go,
We
"Oh,
had
guess what? We have your
we
wallet
have your
here."
wallet, so
So the
yeah.
next time we went back, the bartender goes, "Yeah, she explained the whole thing. She actually said that the guy actually came in and said that somebody stole the wallet, but she had it behind the bar, so it cleared everything up." But yeah,
This
um,
is a case of, again, don't get inebriated before you
yeah,
show up, because yeah, it was kind of a bad experience. And luckily the bartender was really nice. We'd been there quite a few times, so she knew that we weren't the type of people that would steal from somebody, but
yeah, it was kind of awkward explaining how the wallet got in the vehicle,
in the
though.
vehicle.
But that's a story for another time. But yeah, so guys, I'm rooting for you. I know Sarah's probably rooting for you.
I'm rooting for you, big time, guys.
Because she likes the guys.
I do. I just think, and here's another shout out to the couples. Be tolerant. Having a single male there may not be your thing, but everybody has different preferences. And we've had couples that go, well, they shouldn't be allowed to come to the club, or they shouldn't be allowed to be here. Well, you know what? Just because it's not your thing
Right.
does not mean it's not somebody else's thing. So, you couples need to be kind of tolerant. If the guy is sweet and he's nice and he's followed everything that we've told him to follow, then don't be rude. Don't judge him. Honestly, try and be.
Unless he's out there wanking it on the couch. No, I'm kidding.
But if he's a nice, respectful guy, then they should be allowed to come here. And
Yeah.
couples shouldn't, judge them for the fact that they're single male.
Right.
Like,
I mean, there's single females too, so
they're fine with
again.
those, but the single males, they tend to be very more hard critiquing of them. They tend to be more judgmental of them.
Well, in a sense though, some of these guys, you're
They-
dealing
You're
dealing with
dealing with past experiences
Yeah.
from all these guys that have creeped them out in the past. So you do also have to be aware of that in the lifestyle.
Yep,
That you're
so-
going to be dealing with people that have had bad experiences with single males.
Yep.
But like I said, you want to make sure that you let them know, I'm not one of those creepy guys. I'm, basically just here to have fun.
Right.
And you will be more accepted. Like I said, again, couples, maybe not your thing, but at least try and be nice and polite to them. Make them feel welcome.
Right. Okay, so I think that's really what we wanted to hit on with single guys for this episode. If anything else pops up pops up. If anything pops up, I'll try to hit it on the next episode. I do have a question that was sent in by a couple,
Yes.
Val and Day. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I know it's not Valerie, so they wanted to know. They said basically, thanks for the episodes. It's really helped them out with boundaries, ground rules, and just getting into this so they don't make mistakes and
And
things
that's
like
our
that.
goal too.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that.
But their question is on the infamous unicorn.
The single
How
females.
do you meet the single females? So
How do you meet them? Where do you meet them at?
we could do a whole show on that as well, so I'm just going to answer briefly. The best way to meet single females are at clubs. Yes,
That's
they do.
true.
Yes, they have profiles. However, there's a lot of females that go to our place that don't have profiles on places. They've just heard about the place by word of mouth, and
Well, I don't think they know what to expect. Also, you got to understand from a single female's point of view is the fact that they're walking into this and they don't have, I should say, protection like a couple does. If a wife does something that she finds unacceptable, she has her husband or spouse, boyfriend, whoever, to step in and say, hey, I'm not okay with this. Single females are pretty much on their own, so they don't have that protection. So they're essentially nervous when they do come into any kind of setting, whether it's a bar, whether it's at a club. a house party, it doesn't matter. Their whole thing is, am I going to get in a situation I can't handle? What if this couple wants to do more than what my boundaries are? So I think first of all, if you're looking for a single female, he's right. They have a better avenue to find them, but also the best thing you need to do is really talk to the single female. Find out what she's interested in. If she's only interested in playing with the female, then respect that. Understand that they're only going to play with the female. Don't, like the guys, don't try and push that boundary and think that this woman's going to have sex with you and you're going to get lucky with two women, because that might not be what she's looking for. She might be looking for more of the bi experience. So just remember, if you are looking for a single female and you are trying to play with them, find out exactly how far they're willing to go, what they want to do, kind of respect that. Well, this has been a wonderful show, and we wanted to say to all of you that we hope you have a good night, and we'll tune in next week to our next podcast.
Yeah, make sure you tell your friends about our show. Make sure you tell them to click and subscribe and follow us, and that way you'll get the alert when we do the next show. It'll send it right to your YouTube thing and let you know what's going on.
And if you are local and are interested in coming to a club, there is our place.
And the link is right below here, that has the website information there, so you can check it out. You can also get on Google and search around for clubs in your area as well. Other than that, we will see you next week with our next